Hi, everybody. Welcome to our small business Tele-Town Hall. Tonight, we're here to answer many questions from you. You know, Clark County truly understands that many of our small businesses are currently facing a lot of economic challenges. And so tonight, we're here, along with some of our community partners, to answer some questions as to how is it that you as a county, how is it you as a small business can take advantage of some of these resources that Clark County will introduce to many of you all here throughout our community. What resources are available to small businesses are questions that we've received. How can we help small businesses rebound through this COVID-19 crisis that we're dealing with? And how do I access, as a small business, any funding that may be available out here? Tonight, I'm so very honored, and I know I got my face mask on, so hey, bear with me, right? Tonight, I've joined forces with some of our community partners who we will begin on my far left to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to hop right into this discussion. Tell a friend to log on to our Clark County Facebook page and get involved in the process. Learn how this real quick and swift application process will take place. Hear it firsthand from our department head, who can give you a little insight as to what possibly may happen and how you can get involved and take advantage of any programs or any resources that Clark County may have available for you all tonight. So with that, hello there, sir.
Hello, Commissioner Weekly,
What's
my
happening?
dear friend, Peter Guzman, President of the Latin Chamber of Commerce. And I want to say thank you for putting another forum together where we could help small businesses. You know, I have a tremendous passion for the small business entrepreneur, that person that takes that risk to create jobs. It's the engine that drives our community and our country. And at the Latin Chamber, that is our first and foremost passion, is helping the small business. And right now they're struggling, they're hurting, we know this. And I'm so grateful that my colleagues, the county, and so many others have come together to try to do what we can to help.
Yes, absolutely. All right, this next gentleman here, of course, he's out there with boots on the ground as well, doing his very best to make sure that if there are any resources out there that's available to help small businesses, he's going to find the answer. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Thank you so much, Commissioner Weekly. I appreciate you inviting us over today.
Yes.
I'm truly honored to be here along with my colleagues. Peter already said it. All three of us over here really support small businesses, and we're just so happy that we have a resource partner such as Clark County, especially you, helping us. So thank you for being here.
All right.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna leapfrog over who I consider one of the stars tonight. She's like the Jerry Maguire of tonight, and so we're gonna introduce her last. How about that? And we're gonna
You
go
had
all
me
the
at
way
hello.
over to the Urban Chamber of Commerce. How you doing there, sir?
Doing very well, Commissioner. Glad to be here. Good evening, everyone. Ken Evans here with the Urban Chamber of Commerce. Glad to be here. As my colleagues mentioned, we want to do everything we can to help people not only get through the immediate response, but in the months and years ahead, help them recover, relaunch, and move forward with their business.
All right. And before we get hot and heavy into the conversation, let's introduce this phenomenal woman here from Clark County. She'll introduce herself and tell you who she is, and what she represents. Good evening.
Thank you, Commissioner Wigley. I'm happy to join everybody. I am Shawnee Coleman. I am the Director of Community and Economic Development for Clark County. And I guess I'm here, to show people the money? Is that
Show-
me? Show me.
Hey, instead of
Don't say that, they'll line up.
listen, instead of Jerry Maguire, we have Geraldine Maguire here with us tonight. Huh? Yeah, so this is going to be good, and I hope that everybody will log in and participate in the process tonight. Ask a lot of questions, if you will. But before we get started, I'd be so remiss because there's another gentleman who's with us in the audience tonight. Come on up to the microphone, because I do want you to introduce yourself. He's so instrumental in making sure that we do have some levels of participation out here as it relates to sharing what's out here in Clark County. So thank you, man, so very much for all your hard work. Thank you for the support.
My pleasure, Commissioner. Shondell Newsom, for the record, Urban Chamber of Commerce Board Chair and the founder for Some New Marketing. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to serve and help our small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Thank you so much for being here. And again, I'd be remiss if I did not thank our Public Information Office so very much, the entire PIO team, as well as our IT department for helping to make this happen. Thank all of you all who are tuned in to us on Clark County Television TV4. Once again, if you all have any questions out there, please go to our Clark County Facebook page, type in your questions, and of course, my man on the screen, Chris, will get your question live to this esteemed panel that we have here. Let me, of course, thank my personal staff, Will Covington, Kelly Benavides, and Monique Perkins, so very much for their support as we continue to try and work hard and provide information to all the citizens, not just in Clark County District D, but to the entire Clark County Valley. Let's go with, let me just pose a question now to all of my chambers here. Before we get to Director Coleman, what are you all hearing from the communities, from Latin Chamber of Commerce members, the Asian Chamber of Commerce members, the Urban Chamber of Commerce members, as we are dealing with this pandemic? We've experienced a complete shutdown. Now, there are some who have been able to weather the storm, and then there are some that are out there who are hanging on by a thread. What's been your stories so far? And we'll start with you, Peter.
Yeah, so there's good and bad stories going on in the Latino community. So your retail is struggling hard. Your retail is getting crushed. But your grocery stores are doing well, and your small food venues are doing really, really well right now. And but you know what I'm hearing is that they want to open. You know, and I get that, because while they're closed, their business is closed, and that's their livelihood. That's what gives them a dignified life. So in a way, they don't understand the closure being so long, and they were getting antsy because they want to get back to work. That's the key. They want to get back to work.
Very good. Okay, Sonny?
Thank you, Commissioner. So with us, it's amazing the determination of these business owners. They are here to stay, and they're going to do everything that they can in their power, of course, to get back to that good economy that's been going, the sales that they had before everything else happened. And it's just nice to see that they're not giving up. I mean, they appreciate any help that they can get, and they are looking for resources, of course, to make it easier for them, but they are determined.
Yeah. Okay, Ken?
And from the standpoint of the Urban Chamber, two categories. The first category are the individuals that were able to continue to operate, even if it was in a minimal position. In several cases, they might be operating at 20 to 30% of their normal revenue. So it's still a challenge for them, but at least they're able to get some revenue, keep some people employed, as well as keep their brand out there. But then there's a whole lot of businesses that are struggling because they've had to sit by, no revenue, no staff, and just wait for things to unfold. And it's been even more of a challenge for those individuals. But fortunately, as we reopen in a phased manner, hopefully we can help them with the relaunch.
Okay. Having heard that, Director Coleman, Clark County has engaged with a lot of discussion as it relates to possible recovery funds. What do we want to say to these chambers who have lots of active members, who have lots of businesses out there that are struggling, that, you know, are not looking for a handout? They just need a hand up. What does Clark County really mean in a time of a crisis like this?
I think in any time of crisis, I think people look to their governments for support, and we want to be that support for our business community. Having opportunities to work with these wonderful gentlemen on the dais here and understand what's important to them and their members, but just also receiving phone calls. You know, there's not a day go by that I don't get a phone call or I don't receive an email from a business that's struggling, and you know, having them tell me what their needs are. And so Clark County is looking at a couple of things. We're looking at a general recovery platform, what that looks like, a strategy, what that looks like for Clark County, not just Clark County, but also with our partners, Incorporated Cities, our partner, Las Vegas Global Economic Alliance. But in addition to that, we're looking at potential programs specifically for small businesses. And so I would invite those listening to listen or watch the Clark County Board of Commission meeting for tomorrow. we plan to have some discussion with the board about potential programs that will be available to small business, financial assistance programs that will be available.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Peter.
So I have a question. I guess they're texting me instead of getting on Facebook. They're on Facebook, but I have a question. My question would be, how can I donate help for small businesses damaged by the protests? So I would say to that person, obviously through the chambers, if you want to donate or you want to come out and help, we're certainly willing to accept that. We're trying to kind of see what the lay of the land is after the protests are kind of subside and see how much damage is out there. And I'm sure that us chambers will come together and figure out a way how we can help some of our members that have been damaged. I do know of one of our members already that got his windows broken into last night, pawn shop. And, it's unfortunate, but I'm grateful that there's people that care about small businesses like that.
Yeah. One of the things I do want to acknowledge the fact that even though we're dealing with a pandemic, we have a civil unrest that's taking place as we speak.
Same
And
time.
I want to thank each of you for not canceling or postponing tonight. We acknowledge the fact that there are some systemic issues that's going on in our country. Right now, we have a very serious crisis that's happening in our community, and we definitely don't want to overshadow that, but we do understand that we got to continue on with the business. We got a lot of people out here who will benefit from the blessings that each of you are bringing to them. And so thank you all to everyone who's tuned in to our Facebook page tonight. Thank you for participating with us. Our prayers are with everybody out here who's fighting for equal rights for everybody. And so with that, Chris says we have a new question. Okay, Chris? I'm sorry? You said right in front of you. You want me to you want me to read the questions? Okay, all right. How about, okay, where's these questions at, Johnny? Are they on my
here we go.
screen? Okay, here it is. I'm waiting on my license, paying money out. I'm waiting on my license, paying money out for insurance and things, but I have yet to receive my license because everything is closed. What can I do? Okay, well, that's a great question if it's for Clark County, and that's for our business licensing department. And I think it's fair for us to say Clark County is officially open. And whatever it is that we can do to assist you in that process, please do not hesitate to reach out to our commission office. Each of these gentlemen here from their chamber offices have great relationships with their county commissioners. We'll be more than happy to help you, but I'd start possibly with my chamber offices if you don't mind. But if you'd like to be more direct, you can call 702-455-3500 and just ask to speak with my office, Monique Perkins or Will Covington or Kelly Benavides. We can direct you to business licensing. Dr. Jacqueline Holloway, who serves as the director of that department, will be more than happy to walk you through the process. So if you come down to the building, we'll walk you to the third floor and get you hooked up with the right person. Is that all right? There it is. Okay, I like that, Chris. Okay, Chris, you're all right with me. Eric Papa, give him a raise. Since we have, there you go. We want to take care of everybody here tonight. Hey, folks, for all of our viewers out there, if you're just tuning in, please log on to our Clark County Facebook page. Type in a question if you have a question for any of these chambers or Director Coleman. Director Coleman, she heads up our business development department. Am I saying that department right? Community and Economic Development Department, and we're here to answer any of your questions tonight. We want to do our best to get you on point so that you may put yourself in line for any of these recovery funds that may be coming out and may be available to you that can help you get back on your feet. All right, yes, Mr. Guzman.
And I want to encourage people out there. I know this is sound maybe a little weird. I want to encourage those entrepreneurs, those dreamers. Don't let this stop you. There are great opportunities, as sad as that may sound, there are great opportunities when there is great need. And right now there is great need. So you can open up a business now. You can start planning to open that business now, because when this thing turns, it's going to turn quick, and you could achieve your dream of owning your own business.
Very well said. There's a question on the screen, and I'm going to let Urban Chamber start that question. We're going to rotate questions here, and if any of the other chambers want to respond, or Director Coleman, if you'd like to respond, you're more than welcome to, okay? Mr.
Yeah,
Evans.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. The question is, what are some resources that new entrepreneurs who want to start a business in this climate can access to create new jobs and small business, as well as even take over struggling businesses that owners who want out have an outlet? What I'll start out by saying is that some of the resources that are out there we definitely want you to take advantage of are resources like SCORE, which stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives. In addition to that, we have a pretty robust Nevada Small Business Development Center Network, or NSBDC. I'll also mention the Women's Business Development Center is a great resource. The bottom line is all these resources are out there for you to talk to individuals who, free consultation, if you will be there to help you figure out what businesses are possibly going to get started or thrive in this climate that we're in right now. Because as my colleague from the Latin Chamber said, there will be opportunities. For example, personal protection equipment, or PPE, testing kits in order to make sure that you can give people real-time results. All of those create opportunities. And then the follow-up question had to do with if you want to take over a struggling business. Once again, I'd refer you back to SCORE or NSBDC, because they can help you figure out the tools, the business reports, et cetera, that you need to analyze a business and then figure out if it's a good idea to purchase them right now. But again, a lot of resources out there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Evans. Sonny, I'm going to let you take the next question, but I do want to acknowledge some folks, and there are some great questions out here. I want to send a big shout out to my friend Ruben Keewan. Ruben, thank you so much for checking us out tonight, man. Thank you. Dante Scott, that's a great question that he has on the screen, and Shawnee, maybe that might be something that we can answer in reference to helping landlords that are out there. Dante, that's a very good question. Peter's checking in, and he's sitting right next to me. Thank you, Peter, for all your questions. You could just look over and ask me, but I love you. Thank you. Mike Sullivan, thank you so very much. We're going to get to your question and answer that as well. But, man, we got some wonderful, amazing business owners that have tuned in to us today. Sonny, you want to take the next question?
All right, so the question is there any resource businesses can turn to if they want to get things like infrared thermometers or masks? Does the county or the state have any of those items, or is it up to the businesses to find and obtain them?
Okay.
So let me answer as far as the chamber is concerned. We have a list of people that are offering these for sale. Call us, any of our chambers. I'm pretty sure all of us have connections to that, and we'll be able to point you to those businesses that can help with that. But I'll let Shani answer as far as the county is concerned, if they have anything on the
Shawnee,
businesses.
looking forward, and I know the county commission will have a great discussion with you along with the county manager's office to talk about how we can get involved. Will businesses, if in fact we come up with a program, will businesses be able to apply for any grants or opportunities to even look at resources like that, to apply for resources to take care of things like infrared thermometers and other little things like that?
Absolutely. We do have a draft program that we will bring before the board tomorrow, and it addresses specifically things such as that, being able to purchase PPE. If your business needs to do any type of facility modifications like installation of hand sanitizers or hand washing stations or no-touch doors, we do have a program that will be presented to the board. As Commissioner Weekly said, there will be a robust discussion tomorrow about that. So we hope to be able to provide support. Public safety and public health is definitely a part of economic development and economic recovery. So we want to be sure to support that.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go to our next question, and we're going to pass that to Peter Guzman. As Peter's looking at getting his next question from Chris, I do want to ask out there to all of our businesses that are tuned in, how many of you out there, and I'd like for you all to type in this on our Facebook page, go to Clark County's Facebook page, if you will, just let us know who you are. Wow. We want to shout you out tonight. I see Antonio Muniz, who's on here, Taco 911. We love Tacos 911. Man, they do a fantastic job out there. We want to recognize and call out some of our small businesses. If you are tuned in, Destiny Fleming and Caleb Fleming, small business owners out there. Greg DeVille is a small business owner out there. We want to shout your small business out. Let us know who you are. what is it that a small grant could do for you? If you were able to acquire a grant, let's say up to like 5,000, maybe even 10,000, what would that do for you? Would that grant help you out? If you're a small business out there and a little small grant like that, which I think is a huge blessing,
Yes.
what would that do for your business? Please type in your response, go on our Clark County Facebook page, and let us know right now what your thoughts are and what type of blessing would this be for you. Mr. Guzman.
So I love this question. I don't know how I got this, but love it. Are there any programs to help protect landlords? Some of us depend on the cash flow from our rental properties to survive. So real estate is my background. Landlords are not evil people. They are small business people. That's a small business is what that is. And you know, I hate to see some dialogue going back and forth. There are some bad landlords. There's no question about it, and shame on them, on the bad ones. But here's the deal. I believe tax policy is the greatest way we could help landlords and tenants. Incentivize. Give the landlord a reason to maybe give a break to that tenant for a month or two by simple tax deductions, by simple tax policies. I'm telling you, it can be done. It is done in other cities. And I think it's the greatest tool that government has at their disposal is tax policy. And so I hope that we can bring landlords and incentivize them to work with those tenants that are in a critical moment right now at no fault of their own, and let's make a better place for it.
There you go.
Can I jump
Yeah,
in on
sure,
that?
please.
Because Clark County tomorrow again will have a proposed program that addresses exactly what Peter is talking about. We
Excellent.
understand that landlords and owning buildings, that's a business too. And so we're looking at a program that hopefully will help the tenant and the landlord on both sides of that transaction. So stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. It should be
That's
a good one.
excellent.
Hey, listen, thank you, Janice from Sultan's Grill. We love Sultan's Grill. Antonio with 911 Taco Bar and Catering. There it is. I call it Taco 911. Maybe I just need one right now, right? I need one of those tacos in my life, Antonio. Ryan Brown, thank you from Classic Jewel. We love Classic Jewel. That's another small business that's really trying to expand and bring on new employees. Vegas Roots Garden, thank you so very much. Rosalind Brooks, we love you to death. And who else do we see out here, you guys? We're getting a lot of great responses from businesses out here. Here we go right here. Shawnee, you take this one right here. This is your... Turn your mic on. There you go.
Okay, what legal protections do I have if an employee becomes ill, COVID or otherwise?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
This is an ongoing question.
Yeah.
You know, business liability. This is being discussed at the federal level. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer to this question yet. I think as a state, as we look towards our legislative session coming up in February, I think this is going to be a topic of discussion. But right now, no clear-cut answer on what liabilities may be out there for business, whether it's employees or even customers, right? So there's that potential there. So unclear right now what the liability is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pardon me, Commissioner,
Yeah,
if I
please
could
go ahead.
chime in. This is definitely an area where getting in contact and working through your chambers would be very helpful. We've been on several calls recently where chambers of commerce, not just here, but all across the country, are talking about liability and exposure that especially small businesses will have. Their least can afford a lawsuit. So what I would tell people is definitely work through or work with your Chamber of Commerce to advocate and let your position be heard.
Yeah. I want to thank Sheila Bray from the UNR Extension Program, Cooperative Extension. Sheila says that they offer resources to small businesses as well. And Sheila, I'm hoping that you're connecting with these chamber representatives, chamber leaders that are up here. She says through their UNR Extension, programs. They offer weekly town halls, webinars, and webinars to help small businesses connect, pivot, adapt, and connect with other businesses. So Sheila, we thank you for tuning in to us tonight. Make sure that you connect with each one of these chambers, because I think that the more we collaborate and work together, I believe the greater our impact can be, and we can help a whole lot of folks out there. Let's see. Definitely want to send a big shout out to, who is this? Pittsburgh Dad in Vegas. Okay, Pittsburgh Dad.
him.
Okay, we'll take it. All right. And then who else do we have here? We have Leticia Mitchell, Leticia Cosina. Yeah, we love Leticia, man.
Love Letitia's.
Great restaurant. Kyle
Love.
Hecker, thank you so much for tuning in. Dwayne Krauser says he's a Uber Lyft driver. Are there any benefits to Uber and Lyft drivers that are out there? Are they considered independent contractors?
They are considered
Okay, what
independent
resources do we
contractors.
have for them, if any?
So the state has a couple of things. So the state, if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, you can now file for unemployment. They're part of the gig, with what they call the gig economy, and so they can partake in that. And depending on if they've identified themselves as a sole proprietor, as a business instead of just a gig worker, there may be some opportunities for them as a sole proprietor to participate in some business programs as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think in the future, I hope we don't have any more of these type of issues. But we definitely got to remember that these contractors, independent contractors, are so important to our economy. Realtors are considered independent contractors, and they pay a tremendous amount of taxes.
Yeah.
So, but then when things like this happen, it doesn't seem like there's enough resources for them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm looking to hear from all of my barbers and my beauty salons and my nail techs out there. I know we participated in a great town hall with them to help them make sure that they were a part of phase one. And they were very concerned because they had a lot of their young barbers out there and stylists out there who were struggling. And so I'd like to hear from them. Here's another question, everybody. PPP was a blessing until the rules are changing under our feet after we've borrowed. Will the state be able to help bridge some of the gaps that may open up when the dust settles? Ken?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and get it started. It is true that there's been an evolution with the payroll protection program. What I'll say, though, is from my standpoint, I think efforts are being made, and I want to thank our entire congressional delegation, because they've been working to make sure that the PPP program evolves in a manner that benefits our small business. What do I mean by that? Right now, there's an 8-week requirement to use the funds, but I know that they are advocating and lobbying to take that 8 weeks from 16, and then I heard recently possibly as long as 24 weeks. The reason why that's important is because there's going to be a phased-in period to get your business relaunched, and you want to make sure that you have more time to bring people back on board. The other thing I'll mention is that there are several guides that are coming out right now to make sure that it doesn't end up as a loan, and that indeed you follow the rules and you get guidance up front, so that is a forgivable loan, or essentially it acts like a grant, meaning you do not have to pay it back. So I think that steps are already being taken to make sure that there's not a long-term adverse impact to our small businesses.
Okay, Sonny?
I also wanted to add, Ken, you're absolutely right. Plus, another big part of that, they are changing the rule where in the old rule was 75% of the PPP loan had to be used for payroll. They're changing that to 60%, and that's going to be a big difference on the forgiveness part. So, and then the 24-week period time is a big one too, Ken. So, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Very good. All right, we got another question on the screen here. We'll give it to Peter. Peter, if you take that question, please.
How can small businesses get support from high tech? Can our small business owners tap that local remarkable talent somehow? Is there a way to create a tech incubator? So there's quite a few questions in there. What I would say is that's kind of what we exist for at the chambers. I'm not doing a false plug here, but we're kind of the liaison between those higher tech companies, and we can help you get to them. That's what all these chambers do. And so you're more than welcome to call us, and we will get you in touch with those tech companies because they're all members of our chamber.
In fact, I want to piggyback on my colleague. One of the things that we have at the Urban Chamber is we have an information technology or an IT roundtable, and many of our small, diverse businesses are, as my colleague mentioned, they're doing projects with local counties, cities. In addition to that, they've also reached out to Department of Defense clients, both here and outside the state. So that's another good opportunity and way to connect to the tech industry as well.
Okay. All right. Shondell, I want to, if you don't mind, if you come to the microphone, please, because I know you've heard a lot of discussion so far and some great questions that have been asked of this panel here tonight. We get hundreds upon hundred questions a week asking about small business opportunities out there. What is it that you'd like to say to those businesses out there now that they have people out here that can go to the MAT Forum? There's a great program that's going to be introduced tomorrow by Director Shawnee Coleman to the Board of County Commissioners that I think everybody who has a business should be zoomed in and taking advantage of paying attention to what's going to be discussed because it's going to go so quick.
You're
Take
right.
what I'm saying to you. It's going to go really fast. So you have to be ready. If some of these businesses are not ready, they're going to miss out.
Yep.
Right? What do you want to say at this point?
Well, one of the things that, thank you again, Commissioner Shondell Newsom. And, you know, one of the things that I'll tell you is that in addition to some of the funding opportunities, SCORE, for example, has what's called a reopening plan. And they've already put that in motion. A lot of people can get this reopening plan because once you get the money, you got to know what to do with it. And really, a lot of people have to understand that you're starting over again like a new business. Like today, our company, my daughter Tiara had a meeting with the staff to tell them the new normal. And of course, we spelled it N-U, right? Because that's what we do. But she was telling them that this is how we have to operate as a business now. Some businesses have to, you know, pay attention to social distancing. Some businesses, like some of the new restaurants, I think they actually should now upgrade because now that they know how to do curbside, now that they know how to do to-go orders, now that they could do online orderings, upgrade your equipment. Like if you get money from any source, whether it's VCAS or the county or the city or the state or through PPP or anything else, upgrade your system so now you can compete with the Applebee's of the world and those groups. So it's just really the opportunities are there, not in addition to the money, but really they have to learn what to do with the money once they get it. So money is, you know, one thing, but really they can use a lot of these resources and learn how to make the money become a return on investment to their business. That would be my recommendation.
Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. Hey, yes, sir. Peter, go ahead.
Sorry, Shondell brought up something, curbside. I just want to mention this to people. Some of the things that we've learned during quarantine are some of the things that we know that consumers liked. And so I think you have to double down on it. Curbside is definitely one of them. I have enjoyed being able to pull up, pay that online, pull up, have them put it in my trunk, drive home and have dinner with my wife. I've loved that. And I can tell you that I know a lot of people have. So what do you need to do? You need to implement curbside into your business plan. I just read that Chili's, 36% of the revenue now comes from curbside. 36% is tremendous. By the way, you know, the expenses on curbside is a lot less. I just found that out through one of my members. So we talk about moving quickly and figuring it out quickly. You got to be ready for the future. And the future is curbside and figuring out how people can work from home because they're enjoying that too.
Yeah, man, curbside works really, really well, especially when you're having one of those days and you went through, like a lot of my folks, that COVID-19 no haircut, and you just don't want to get out of the car, right, Ken? And so that curbside worked for a whole lot of us. But I'll tell you what I didn't like, and not that I was a participant, I just heard from some folks that at the marijuana industries, curbside, which I thought was pretty dangerous. I
Very
think that was a
dangerous.
very dangerous practice, and so I hope that they change that.
They did.
Along the way. No more curbside. You can't buy your weed on the curb. You got to go in the building or go through a drive-through window. How about that, right? I know, son. I just put it out there like that. Hey, if you're just checking us out via Clark County Facebook page, we thank you so very much. We just wanted to take a moment out of your schedule today just to offer some solutions to many of our small businesses that are out there. There are a lot of things that's going on right now. We're still fighting a pandemic. We have a civil unrest that's going on right now. Lots of people are uneasy right now, but there are a lot of people still struggling, trying to figure out through all of this, how do I keep my business open? And so I want to thank once again tonight, I want to thank the Latin Chamber of Commerce who are here with us. Asian Chamber is here with us, as well as the Urban Chamber. We thank you so much. And of course, to all the Board of County Commissioners and our county management team and our PIO staff, as well as IT, for opening up the doors to allow us to have this avenue so that we can take a minute out of your schedules just to come and talk to you and share with you some information. Director Coleman, what do you anticipate from your office's standpoint? I know that you're receiving a gazillion phone calls in terms of what do I do? What can I do different? Here's a question right here that says, I was able to stay open on a limited basis. There are some practices I expect to continue. Have you heard of any unique solutions worth keeping? That's a loaded question right there. It's very loaded.
It's a loaded question. I would say it kind of harkens back to something Peter said earlier about recognizing we're in a new normal and recognizing some of the blessings that have come out of this, right? So if your business was able to thrive on curbside, okay, how do you take that to the next level? What can you do about that? And so I think looking at things like that, and I also believe that even though there's a little bit of tragedy there, there's always an opportunity to learn something and pivot to something that's next. You know, a lot of people say that we are currently in an industrial revolution with AI, and so I would ask you to look at your business and say, okay, based on COVID, things that have changed. You know, there's a lot more people working from home. Are there opportunities for your business to support people working from home? Just kind of how restaurants pivoted to doing curbside delivery. I think people need to be innovative and look at things from that perspective.
There you go. All right, let's give a big shout out to Amy Ortiz with Rockin' Betty. Amy, thank you so very much for listening to us here today. Jaleesa Ross, thank you. She's with the pull-up truck. The pull-up truck, that's interesting. I'd like to know more about the pull-up truck. And then Regina Renee Lewis, she's with Loving Embrace Home Care, LLC. It's a pretty interesting business. Regina, tell us a little bit more about your business as well. KK, she's owned Outcomes. KK, thank you very much. And of course, we heard from Dante Scott. And then we want to thank Mr. Brady Wells. Brady Wells, thank you very much for tuning in and participating with us tonight. My friend Astrid Silva, Astrid wants to know, are there any opportunities, Shawnee, you think that's coming down the pike for nonprofits? And while you prepare to answer that, I want to thank Dr. Frantonia Pollan. She's with the International Coaching and Business Consulting. Thank you so very much, and we surely appreciate all you guys. Tony Salazar, thank you so very much as well for participating tonight. But will there be, or are there any resources out there you all can think of for nonprofits?
I think that's a very interesting question. I know I think it's something that, you know, as we talk about our programs, that we should have a discussion about. Nonprofits play a vital role in our community, some of the services that they provide. I mean, whether it's food banks or whether it's other types of health services. And so I think that's a conversation that we need to have, understanding the importance nonprofits play in our community.
And it's important for a lot of our nonprofits to understand there are services through all the municipalities out there, because a lot of these nonprofits, they provide that technical service for the municipalities. I know that there are a number that Clark County partner with because they help close the gap in terms of what we can't fulfill. So we appreciate that so very much. Chris says there's another question. He says, what rent waivers are available? And if they are available, for how long? And who's that? Anybody? Are there any rent waivers available?
Well, the governor has a directive in place.
Yes.
That prevents residential and commercial evictions. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's due to expire at the end of June.
24th.
Yeah, June 24th. And so those are the only things. I guess the governor has an opportunity, if it's necessary, to extend that moratorium on evictions. As far as rent waivers, I think that's a conversation you probably need to have with your landlord.
Yeah.
There may be programs out there to support rent, like Clark County will have a discussion tomorrow about a commercial rental assistance program. But a rent waiver, what that sounds like to me is my landlord says I don't have to pay rent, and government generally doesn't get in the middle of private industry. And so if you're looking for a rent waiver, that's probably a conversation to have with the landlord.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then there are a lot of nonprofits out there that are providing rental assistance. And so don't be afraid to look that up as well. I know the Economic Opportunity Board, Nevada HAN, and several other nonprofit organizations out there offer rental assistance. And so keep your eyes open for that and talk to your chambers, because I'm sure these gentlemen that are sitting up here tonight, there may be a boatload of that information in their office, but they got to go to their staff to get it, right? I know how that stuff works. You guys are just you guys are the faces of the agency. You don't know all the groundwork that goes on in those offices. I get it.
I get.
I agree with that statement.
I know it personally, right?
I agree with that statement.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Shout out to my staff.
Yep, shout out to my staff as well. Keep me out of trouble too. I will say this, Commissioner, one thing I would tell the nonprofits, especially if you are a 501c3 nonprofit, you are eligible to apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan or the EIDL program, and you're definitely eligible to apply for the Payroll Protection Program, again, if you're a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We got some more folks here, Peter. Shanika Gunn, thank you so very much. Shanika was concerned. She says her credit had gotten pulled and she hadn't heard anything back. I think right now, because we're going through a crisis right now, things have slowed down a whole lot. But Shanika, hang in there. I believe help is on the way. Big shout out to Elliot Chester. Elliot, thank you so very much. He's with Elliot and Company. Jess Flo has a nice balloon business she just started, and so definitely, Jess, we appreciate you and want you to stay tuned and make sure that you get this vital information. James Spody Allen, he's a local art author and a barber and a probation officer, and I think he got about 5 different jobs. Hey, he's doing what he got to do to support the family, huh? Leticia Mitchell, thank you so very much for the support. Kim Flowers, thank you as well. We have another question here. We're here until 7. Shondell, you had a comment? Come on up. All right, Shondell's going to come up and share some information with us.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
one thing I want to share, and you have a daily prayer or something with the Tech Queen, with
Yeah,
Dewana
Saturdays.
Malone.
Yeah.
Dewana actually has a great program for people who are trying to make a transition to technology. Nevada Help Desk. NevadaHelpDesk.com is actually high school and college students that is funded by the Governor's Office of Science, Information and Technology, or OSIT, right? And what they basically do is they train these high school and college students to become our future workforce in the technology field. At the same time, they're servicing small businesses. So any small business who is trying to make a technology change, or you're trying to do things more online or virtual, or you need to upgrade your website, or you need to upgrade your mobile texting, or you need to do a virtual radio station or a podcast, they do all of that. So these are our students. This is how you can support our students. At the same time, you can support your small businesses. So I wanted to give a shout out to the Tech Queen and NevadaHelpDesk.com.
Absolutely. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
Absolutely. We love you, Dewana Malone. All right, here's another question for you. Some of my suppliers have closed due to the shutdown. Any suggestions on sources, or I'm out of business as well?
I have a possible source, not a guarantee, but one of the things in Nevada is we are trying to get individuals or businesses like this to manufacture in the state of Nevada. So I can tell you that there's a Nevada Manufacturing Institute, and once again, that's why you have staff, because I may be butchering the name, but the bottom line is there's a institute that's designed to work with individuals that manufacture here, and I'm sure they might be in a position to help you identify other suppliers.
Okay.
And I want to,
Peter. Oh, go ahead, Peter.
and I want to say that, just reach out to us, because we have been working very closely, all the chambers. We formed a group called the Business Information Network. So we may have resources for other suppliers, because I can tell you, while some stay closed, others are opening and taking advantage of the moment.
Sonny?
And I just wanted to piggyback on that. That's exactly what I was going to say. Plus, not only that, we develop connections through our members as well. And we can definitely ask their suppliers who's still open up to now and refer them to you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Jody Harris, thank you so very much. Jody says she's the president of the LV Wedding Chamber. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Jody, thank you so very much. And Shanika Gunn, she's on it again. She's saying, I need help. Shanika, I'm not sure if do you know her?
I don't know her, but if she has a question about the status of her SBA loan, that is something that we can help out as chambers. In fact, one of the things we've been doing behind the scenes is if you let us know your loan number or your application number, we have the ability to work with our congressional delegation to try to determine the status of your SBA loan, whether it's an EIDL loan or a PPP loan.
Who can give her a phone number or something? Anybody? Give your office numbers?
I'll give mine 702-648-6222, extension 103. Again, that's 702-648-6222, extension 103. And the good thing is, if you call, it'll convert your message to an email that comes directly to us to follow up on.
And I'll give mine out, 702-385-7367. Talk to my girl Beatrice. She knows everything.
And mine is 702-737-4300. Yoko is the main contact. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Okay, you guys tell me what this is, because Elliot, Chester, and KK are asking about EIDL.
Idle.
Okay, EIDL. Have there been any changes to the EIDL that are broadening the scope of what industries can reapply after other than AGG industry? And then KK says, is EIDL being expanded to lend at the max loan size of $2 million as opposed to the silently dropped max loan amount of $150K? Anybody have a response to that?
I can respond.
Yes.
So, EIDL right now, if I'm not mistaken, is currently out of money, and they are only accepting very, very, very limited applications. That was the first program that SBA put out. It's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. And so they currently do not have any plans to make any adjustments or any changes to the program. I think it was mentioned earlier that the second program, which is the PPP, that is the one that Congress is looking to make changes to under a current congressional act.
Okay. Okay. EIDL. All right, here's one. And let me say hello to Brandon Ward. For those that know Brandon, Brandon is releasing a new book soon. So, Brandon, good luck to you. We're looking forward to reading your book, and I'm sure, hopefully, all's well. You get yourself, work with Shondell. He'll get you on the New York's bestsellers list, right? There you go. Thank you so much, Brandon. Good luck to you out there, okay? Thank you, Bridget Matlock, for watching us tonight. Bridget Matlock. She and her husband, they have a small business, pest control company, and definitely want to support them as well. Tony Salazar is saying his understanding is that EIDL is closed for new applications, and if you haven't, Shawnee, you just, Dr. Coleman, you just dropped that, so we got that. Here's another question for you. Will opportunity zone boundaries be redrawn on the heels of coronavirus? Anybody know anything about opportunity zones on this board? Peter?
And I'm going to assume, because there's a federal opportunity zone, and there's VCAUS, which is Valley Center Opportunity Zone, and I know this because I get a lot of calls on the opportunity zone boundaries. I'm going to assume she's talking about the federal program. I have heard that they are, that program has worked out very well, and they're going to expand boundaries, opportunity zones all over the United States. That's all I got.
Okay. Director Coleman?
I haven't heard about boundaries changing, but I have heard because the original federal opportunity zones were only in place for 10 years. And because of the coronavirus, some people were unable to exercise their investment opportunities. And so they're looking at changing the dates of availability or how long it takes to maximize the investment. The original maximum investment would have had to been made in December of 2019. And so with coronavirus hitting, that kind of uh, shifted, and so there may be some expansions to the timelines, but I haven't heard about actual boundaries. Peter, if he's heard about that, that's not something I've heard of yet.
And I also want to say, just in case that person was talking about VCAUS, we have talked about expanding the boundaries at VCAUS, but we can't do it with our current funding. It's just not worth it. But we would love, and my colleague Ken will attest to this, we would love to expand that boundary at the very least to Sahara, because that would include a whole lot of businesses up and down Sahara Boulevard that really should have been included in the get-go. But with limited funding, we have to be very careful about expanding the boundaries. But we are prepared, and we've actually done everything we needed to do to expand it if we get more funding.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Ditto.
Ken.
And this is Ken, who's partnered, the chamber, the two chambers are partnered. Ditto.
I'm sorry. Okay, you're done. That was quick. Thank you.
Drop the mic.
He just made a comment, and there was a mic drop. Okay. All right. So, again, want to just thank a lot of folks out there who are checking us out. We got about another 10 minutes left for questions. If y'all have any other questions that you'd like to ask this panel, I definitely want to remind you all, if your schedules allow, tune in to I almost said KCP. Tune in to the Board of County Commissioners meeting on tomorrow. Director Shawnee Coleman is going to give a great presentation to the Board of County Commissioners on opportunities out there for you small businesses. And I want you all to know, Rosalind Brooks, KK, all of you, Jody, all of you all out there, please, please, please pay attention. Please have your business paperwork in order so that if anything comes out, I don't want to say too much right now, but that you're ready, all right? So Jody wants to know, when do we believe conventions will come back? Well, as a member of the Conventions and Visitors Authority Board of Directors, we're having a lot of conversations right there. We do have a lot of shows interested in coming back right now that are on the calendar. This Thursday, we are scheduled to begin a slow opening of our resort community. So you're going to start to see a number of our hotels start to gradually open up. As a result of that, you guys know we are preparing for the first kickoff this fall with the Las Vegas Raiders. Represent, right? And so with that, lots of conventions are calling. They are beating the pavement, ready to come back to Las Vegas, but people want to make sure that we are ready. And so I say that I think a lot of great measures are put in place right now. People are ensuring that it's safe, and that when they get here, that it's going to be something that will try and get back to what we know as our normal here in Southern Nevada. So keep your eyes open for that, and I'm sure you all are seeing some great marketing that's going on around the nation, inviting people back to Las Vegas. Chris, we have another question out there from anybody? All right, Rosalind Brooks, thank you so very much. Rosalind Brooks says, have the 2019 OAG chosen the awardees yet? You know what? We're looking into that right now, Rosalind. Things got held up because of COVID-19, but just hang on, and we'll get an answer from you. I'll have Will or Kelly reach out to you and get you an answer on Clark County's 2019 OAG application. Bridget Metlock wants to know minimum number of employees to qualify. Bridget, at our Board of County Commission meeting on tomorrow, Director Shawnee Coleman is going to talk about a number of eligibility requirements, if you will, and that's going to be something that she'll share that information for you. But like I said, we want to make sure that all of our businesses are absolutely ready to go. Tony Salazar says International Market Center is moving forward and opening their show on July 30th through August 2nd. So, okay, that's good information to know. So this is a great tool, guys. Do you guys think this is a great tool that we're able to share a lot of good information out there?
Absolutely.
If you have to give some closing comments, Peter, what would they be?
Well, I know you wanted to do a Zoom, and I told you we are Zoom fatigued, so this is much better. Mm-hmm. I love this. Closing comments. Listen, I feel horrible for what's going on out there to the young entrepreneurs, small business owners. It's tough even before COVID and before everything else. Being an entrepreneur is not easy, but it is so satisfying and so worth it. And I ask those small businesses, just hang in there. Vegas needs you, loves you, and supports you, and that's why we're all coming together, working together to try to make sure that we can help you.
Yeah. Asher said yes, Zoom fatigue. Thank
That's
you,
what I'm
Al.
talking about.
We love Asher. Sonny.
Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you again for doing this. This is such a great experience, and it's good to be able to bring it out to our small business owners. My message out there to small business owners, you're not alone. I know that's such a cliche that we've heard now, but you're truly not alone. Call your chambers, call Clark County, seek those resources. We're here to help. Thank you.
Okay. Ken.
Thank you again, Commissioner, for doing this. Thank you, Ms. Coleman, for being part of it. What I would quickly say is that, much like my colleague mentioned, it's tough, it's hard. It was already hard before, but hang in there. We have a hashtag, if you will, survive to thrive. And the bottom line is we went through the recession in 2008. We're going through what we're going through now. But the bottom line is take advantage of those resources that we mentioned so that you can survive. And then more importantly, as things pick up, you can thrive and go to the next level. Thank you.
All right. All right. Yes, Ms. Shawnee.
I would say, one, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure and an honor to serve the county and our business community. And stay tuned for tomorrow. I think there's going to be some exciting opportunities for small businesses out there. And so we want to make sure that we get all that information out to you. So watch the Board of County Commission meeting tomorrow morning.
Yeah, 9:05, bright and early. Yes, Shondell.
Well, thank you again, Commissioner, for holding this forum, and I agree. Being in person, seeing all of you is great. One of the things that I've told people is rebound and rebrand. And because most of your competitors may be either struggling or out of business, so this is your opportunity, play a level playing field, be creative, be innovative, and go out and be an entrepreneur and make things happen and find the need that's out there right now and adjust to that need. And that's what entrepreneurs do anyway to survive. And as one of the few companies that has survived since 2008, I can be totally honest with you that once we cleared the dust and we rebranded and like Ken said, we survived, we started thriving again. So it's just a matter of time and a matter of you working hard and working out of this downturn.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. I want to thank the panelists for being here tonight. Based on a lot of the responses that we received, everyone really enjoyed the format that we had. We didn't have any dress rehearsals or we didn't have any written out format. We just said, you know what, let's turn on the mic. Thank you to Eric Papa and his team for opening up the studio for us. We just said, let's talk to our business community, particularly our small business community. Because you all behaved so well tonight, Peter, you didn't act up and I didn't have to have you 86 for my building. We may be welcomed back to come and do
No more 9/11 tacos for you.
Right.
No more 9/11 tacos for you.
Yeah, Chris was amazing. Chris, thank you so very, very much. Tiffany Oates, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And I agree with you. Bridget Medlock says, rebound, rebrand. Yeah, is that what you said, Shondell? Is that it? Let's rebound and let's rebrand. More importantly, y'all, as we close out here tonight, let's remember, there are some things that's happening in our country that we are so not happy about. It's been going on for a very, very, very long time. And although we appreciate those out there exercising their First Amendment rights, we all have to remember we live here. And we have to stand tall. And we have to send out a very clear message. We live here. We cannot allow folks to come into our community from out of state and tear our communities up and tear your businesses up and then leave us with figuring out how to get you all reopened. Let's work together. Let's band together. Let's put our differences to the side and let's figure out how to get through this crisis together. If we all just stop working in silos and all just work together, I believe that we truly can make a difference. And so with that being said out there, everybody do me a favor. Please, please, please stay safe out there. You pray for me, I'm going to pray for you. More importantly, let's keep our small businesses together. We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.